I'm pregnant?
With emotion?
With a baby. You're the father.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 opposites attract movie couples.
In fact, I'm tired of you. Period.
You're not as vile as I thought you were.
Sandy!
Tell me about it, stud.
For this list, we'll be focusing on diverging personalities rather than class differences in big screen couples. Did we forget your favorite couple that you didn't think would get together? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. Frances Baby Houseman and Johnny Castle, Dirty Dancing. Baby is a privileged teenager on summer vacation with her family at a resort in the Catskills.
Oh, look at all this leftover food. Are there still starving children in Europe?
Try Southeast Asia, Ma.
Her father is a doctor, and she has led a sheltered life that has left her naive, seeing everything around her with rose-colored glasses.
Don't put your heel down. Don't put your heel down. Just
didn't.
stay on the toe.
There, she meets dance instructor Johnny, who is hardened to the realities of the world and has led a difficult life.
You look at the world and you think you can make it better. Somebody's lost, you find them. Somebody's bleeding and
Yeah,
you...
go get my daddy. That's really brave.
He is cynical and doesn't trust anyone, and Baby opens him up to the fact that there may just be good people willing to help him. While class is certainly a factor in their differences, the major way they don't see eye to eye is in their outlook on life. Number 19. Daniel J. Bay and Natasha Kingsley. The Sun is Also a Star. The Sun is Also a Star is a modern love story involving two teens who meet by chance one day in New York City while they're each dealing with their individual struggles.
Well, I don't believe in love.
It exists whether you believe in it or not.
And that's a provable fact.
Daniel, who's getting ready for a big college interview, has an optimism about the world, believing in fate and true love.
Fate is real.
Wait, I think you mean coincidences, because they can happen without meaning.
Natasha, on the other hand, who is on a quest to save her family from being deported, is much more pessimistic and skeptical of Daniel's romantic worldview.
Natasha only has a few hours left. I'm not wasting another second.
Don't you want the recommendation?
Not more than I want the girl.
Luckily, she comes around and is willing to test his theory about falling in love, which totally works. Number 18. Harold Chasen and Maude Chardin, Harold and Maude.
You sure have a way with people.
Well, they're my species.
The term boy toy and cougar often float around in rom-com circles to describe relationships with age differences where the male is younger and the female is older. But there's nothing quite like the generation gap between the sprightly youngster Harold and his 79-year-old lover Maude.
Did you know him? No. Me neither. I heard he's 80 years old. I'll be 80 next week. Good time to move on, don't you think?
In this early 70s dark romantic comedy, the central characters meet through a mutual hobby, the attending of funerals, and their differing outlooks on life soon become clear. Even though she's lived longer, Maude hasn't become jaded and maintains a positive view. Harold, however, is quite the opposite.
I decided then that I enjoyed being dead.
By throwing all social norms out the window, the couple helps bring happiness and clarity to each other's lives, despite the endless naysayers.
One more little surprise that I hope will make you very happy.
Oh, Harold. I am happy.
Number 17. William Will Traynor and Louisa Lou Clark, Me Before You.
Care and companionship for a disabled man.
What kind of care?
Following a terrible accident, the previously young and healthy Will Traynor is left paralyzed and wheelchair-bound. He has essentially given up on finding joy for himself and has plans to end his own life.
So it would be really nice if you didn't try and make my life as miserable as you apparently make everyone else's.
And what if I said I didn't want you here?
I'm not employed by you.
His family, however, makes an attempt to bring some cheer into his life by hiring Louisa Clark to be a companion for him.
Do you know something, Clark? You are pretty much the only thing that makes me want to get up in the morning.
At first, he is resistant to her optimism, but eventually the two manage to form a bond, and her presence gives Will's mother the outcome she was hoping for, at least for a little while. Number 16. Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, Harry Potter franchise. You can't get much more different than these two.
Are you sure that's a real spell? Well, it's not very good, is it?
Ron and Hermione start out the series disliking one another, and even throughout their friendship, they butt heads time and time again.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
You do it then if you're so clever.
Hermione's a studious perfectionist who does not like to break rules, whereas Ron is a quintessential slacker who is constantly leaning on her for help.
You filthy little mudblood. She'll pay for that one, Malfoy. Eat slugs!
Of course, they're brought together by their friendship with Harry and their quest to defeat Voldemort. Despite their apparent animosity, there were plenty of hints throughout the books and movies that there was an attraction underneath their combativeness. Number 15. Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy, Pride and Prejudice. You could probably argue that the entire concept of opposites attracting in love stories was heavily inspired by Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice.
I wonder who first discovered the power of poetry in driving away love.
I thought the poetry was the food of love.
As one of the most beloved works in the Western canon, the tale between these two lovers is one where they start off as enemies.
I talked about the dance. Now you ought to remark on the size of the room or the number of couples.
Mr. Darcy is reserved and prim, putting great importance on social conventions. Elizabeth, however, is quite a modern and progressive woman who is ahead of her time with her willingness to speak her mind, even if her words may cause offense to someone who's considered to be above her station.
And I might as well inquire why, with so evident a design of insulting me, you chose to tell me that you like me against your better judgment.
No, believe me, I
If
didn't
I
mean...
was uncivil, then that is some excuse, but I have other reasons. You know I have.
Luckily, they managed to put their differences aside in the end.
You have bewitched me, body and soul, and I love, and love, and love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on.
Number 14. Margaret, Tate, and Andrew Paxton, The Proposal. In The Proposal, Margaret is a Canadian citizen working in a prominent position in the New York publishing industry. Andrew works below her and she treats him like dirt, until she realizes that she can use him to avoid being deported.
We're getting married. We are getting married.
Who is getting married?
You and I are getting married.
She's uptight and totally focused on her career, whereas he's much more of a romantic who dreams of being published.
Give me a nice big hug. We don't want to think we're fighting. Come on, hug time.
I don't want to, Andrew.
Oh, there we go.
When he takes her to his small hometown in Alaska, their differences are even more pronounced as she has a hard time fitting in with his down-to-earth friends and family.
So, Margaret, marry me. Because I'd like to date you.
But obviously they overcome them with time. This is a rom-com after all. Number 13. Tiana and Prince Naveen, The Princess and the Frog. Disney often employs the opposites attract philosophy in their love stories, and 2009's The Princess and the Frog is no exception.
Besides, you need a napkin, sweetheart? I'm gonna work a double shift to let hear your hotcakes. You know, so you can save for your restaurant. I know.
Tiana's hardworking and has a hard time relaxing and focusing on the things that truly matter, like making time for family. Naveen, on the other hand, is a prince who has been indulged for his entire life and who focuses solely on the pleasures of the world.
I've never done anything like this before.
Really?
All right.
But when you live in a castle, everything is done for you.
When he finds himself without access to his typical lifestyle, however, he and Tiana come together, and with the help of some talking animals and some magic, they manage to both learn something from the other.
Once you became my wife, that made you...
A princess. You just kissed yourself a princess.
And I'm about to do it again.
Number 12. Cher, Horowitz, and Josh Lucas, Clueless.
Oh, wow, you're filling out there.
Wow, your face is catching up with your mouth.
At first, when we meet Cher at the beginning of Clueless, she seems to be self-involved, materialistic, and even somewhat vapid. The more we get to know her, however, we see how caring she can be and how much energy she puts into helping others.
I can't tell you how much I enjoy these little chats of ours, but in the interest of saving time, why don't you just tell me what you want?
Her ex-stepbrother Josh sees himself as more of an intellectual and shows disdain for Cher and her superficial ways.
I'm amazed.
That I'm devoting myself so generously to someone else?
No, that you found someone even more clueless than you are to worship you.
He thinks she focuses on all the wrong things in life, while she finds his politics to be idealistic.
Mel, I want to help out Mel. Yeah, he's the only one who cares about me.
That's not true.
As they become closer, however, they learn that despite their differences, there's clearly something special between them. Number 11, Beast and Belle, Beauty and the Beast.
Now can I open them?
All right. Now.
The animated Beast and Belle are Disney's interpretation of a seemingly impossible romantic dream. But as this classic film tells us, we shouldn't be deceived by appearances. Belle may be a commoner, but her beauty is almost divine. And she could have her pick of any regular prince, or at least the town heartthrob.
You know, Belle, there's not a girl in town who wouldn't love to be in your shoes. This is the day... This is the day your dreams come true.
What do you know about my dreams, Gaston?
The titular Beast is a man cursed to be a creature, who carries more than a little emotional baggage.
I just needed a place to stay.
I'll give you a place to stay.
Oh, please.
But somehow, Belle and Beast bring out the best in each other, getting to know and love each other through snowball fights, books, and dancing. It's a tale as old as time, and a love story to enchant the ages.
Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast.
Number 10, Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, Tangled. Rapunzel has literally spent her life trapped in a tower, so she's not exactly in tune with the ways of the world.
Now, I'm only picking up bits and pieces, of course. Overprotective mother, forbidden road trip. I mean, this is serious stuff.
Her sheltered existence with her cruel faux mother has made her unaware of her surroundings and naive to reality.
I'll spare you the sob story of poor orphan Eugene Fitzherbert. That's a little bit of a downer.
By contrast, Flynn Rider, who is known as a thief, has had a difficult life and is somewhat jaded when it comes to trusting others. He's even crafted a false identity to distance himself from the person he really is.
I can't let you do this.
And I can't let you die.
Rapunzel's optimism and brightness bring out the best in him, however. With her encouraging him to see the world with a little more positivity, he comes to accept himself, while she learns to trust and open up to another person that isn't Mother Gothel.
Rapunzel. You were my new dream.
Number 9, Han Solo and Princess Leia Organa, Star Wars franchise. Han Solo's personality is evident just from his name.
Well, Your Highness, guess this is it.
He acts as a lone wolf, looking out for himself and no one else. Well, except maybe Chewie.
Come on.
You're imagining things.
Am I? Then why are you following me? Afraid I was gonna leave without giving you a goodbye kiss?
In A New Hope, he seems reluctant to partner up with Luke because he's used to watching his own back. And his past has given him a certain cynicism that he can't seem to shake.
Scoundrel. Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.
Stop that.
When he meets Leia, however, he is taken by her spirit and her defiance of him. She believes in fighting for the greater good, and acts with a selflessness that is essentially the opposite of his MO. And as we ultimately see, it just works.
There aren't enough scoundrels in your life.
I happen to like nice men.
Nice man.
Very nice.
Number 8, Joel Barish and Clementine Kruczynski, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
I guess I thought you were humiliated. You did run away after all.
I just needed to see you.
Our next couple fits the opposites attract bill by their very casting, with the famously frantic Jim Carrey and Golden Girl Kate Winslet taking the leads.
This is it, Joel. It's gonna be gone soon.
I know.
But the Hollywood rulebook was completely thrown out the window, as it was Carrey who played the shy guy, while Winslet wowed as a free-spirited extrovert and the picture-perfect manic pixie dream girl.
And I'll get bored with you and feel trapped because that's what happens with me.
Joel and Clementine's story is of an unexpected love encountered on a long-distance train journey.
How far are you going?
Rockville Center.
Get out. Me too.
Really?
What are the odds?
Despite their many differences, the pair seem strangely right for each other. However, it isn't until we delve into Joel's memory that we find out exactly why that is and learn that relationships, no matter how rocky, are always worth remembering.
Constantly talking isn't necessarily communicating.
Number 7, Jamie Sullivan and Landon Carter, A Walk to Remember, Jamie Sullivan is the daughter of a Baptist minister, whose strict upbringing has made her serious and studious. She doesn't seem to have many friends and is mocked at school.
Do you want to buy some raffle tickets? Trying to raise enough money so we can buy Jefferson some new computers.
Landon, by contrast, runs with a bad crowd of teens who are always getting into trouble. He's popular and doesn't seem to care much about his studies.
Mr. Carter, are you trying to be bad at this?
Oh, no. Just comes naturally.
When Jamie is paired up with him to get him out of trouble and improve his academic performance, it at first seems like they're going to loathe one another. But fate, of course, has something else in mind.
I'm scared of not being with you.
Oh, baby, that'll never happen.
Number 6. Harry Burns and Sally Albright, When Harry Met Sally.
I really hate you.
There's just something that always seems to draw these two together, no matter how hard they try to deny it. After Billy Crystal's Harry and Meg Ryan's Sally graduate in Chicago, they carpool to New York City, beginning what becomes a lifelong habit of discussing love, attraction, and relationships with each other.
Is that men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
That's not true. I have a number of men friends and there is no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
The problem is, the two never seem to agree and countless arguments ensue. In fact, the one thing they have in common may be their stubbornness.
You're high maintenance, but you think you're low maintenance.
I don't see that.
Harry, ever the nonchalant smart aleck, knows exactly how to push the picky Sally's buttons. But circumstances continually reunite them for what seems like a faded romance. We just hope Sally's really enjoying it and not just faking.
Oh God. Oh.
I'll have what she's having.
Number 5. Mark Darcy and Bridget Jones, Bridget Jones's Diary.
And the verbal
No,
diarrhea.
I like you very much. Just as you are.
These two are so different, you could write a book about it. And Bridget does just that. This 21st century woman has a heap of pressing, and painfully funny, problems on her plate. Not the least of which is finding Mr. Right. And the titular writer and rom-com heroine is torn between two men. Bad boy Daniel Cleaver and true gent Mark Darcy.
Oh, no. I was in London at a party last night, so I'm afraid I'm a bit hungover. Wish I could be lying with my head in the toilet like all normal people.
She and Mark don't exactly get off on the best foot, as Mark finds her quite the contrary to his eloquent self. But their relationship gradually grows amidst kitchen nightmares, clumsy street fights, and dodgy Christmas jumpers.
So how are you?
Well, apart from being very disappointed not to see my favorite reindeer jumper again, I'm well.
Bridget's then forced to rethink all she ever believed, because nice guys know how to make out too.
Wait a minute. Nice boys don't kiss like that.
Number 4. Katerina Kat Stratford and Patrick Verona, 10 Things I Hate About You. There's just something we love about a good girl falling for a bad boy.
You're not as vile as I thought you were.
One of the most iconic teen movies of all time has to be 10 Things I Hate About You, and one of the reasons it's so timeless is that age-old dynamic as seen through Kat and Patrick.
How you doing?
Sweating like a pig, actually, and yourself?
Now there's a way to get a guy's attention, huh?
My mission in life.
She is a hardline feminist who isn't afraid to speak her mind, even if it means people dislike her.
If you're planning on asking me out again, you might as well just get it over.
Do you mind? You're kind of ruining this for me.
Patrick seems to live his life with a devil-may-care attitude, but his irreverence is halted by the feelings he suddenly finds himself having for Kat, despite being initially paid to date her. She continues to be resistant to him, but in the end, she can't help but succumb to his charms. Number 3. Danny Zuko and Sandy Olsen, Grease.
Danny, is this the end?
Of course not. It's only the beginning.
Danny, a tough guy with a heart of gold, and Sandy, the shy girl who's as wholesome as they come, share a fleeting summer romance while she's on vacation. But then Sandy gets transferred to Rydell High, where Danny's reputation's a little different.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
For T-Bird turned lovebird Zuko, it's all about keeping his cool. But Sandy wants to see more of his romantic side.
Danny?
That's my name, don't wear it out.
At times, those summer nights seem very far away. But when all's said and done, they're willing to change to win each other back, with Danny turning jock and Sandy taking a page from the Pink Lady's book.
Sandy?
Tell me about it, stud.
Finding they definitely want each other, this relationship is so unlikely and so perfect, they need to invent new words to describe it.
Chang, chang, changity, change about. We'll always be like one. Wow, 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 wow.
Number 2. John Bender and Claire Standish, The Breakfast Club.
So you just stripped to the things that you know. Shopping, nail polish, your father's BMW, and your poor, rich, drunk mother in the Caribbean.
Claire and Bender are 2 of 5 high school students dragged into an all-day Saturday detention and told to write an essay. Claire's there for skipping class to go shopping. John's being disciplined for causing a false fire alarm.
BOOHO.
Everything's a big joke, huh, Bender? The false alarm you pulled Friday. False alarms are really funny, aren't they?
As if that's not different enough, wait till you get to know them. Claire's the stereotypical it girl who cares about how she's perceived, and John's the archetypal rebel who seemingly couldn't care less.
I've seen finger gestures from such a pristine girl.
I'm not that pristine.
The whole group would never usually hang out, but in close quarters, Bender, Claire, and the rest break all the social rules. Even if we only get a glimpse of the blossoming love between the criminal and the princess, it's something we'll never forget. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Captain Georg von Trapp and Maria, The Sound of Music.
Fräulein, were you this much trouble at the Abbey?
Oh, much more, sir.
When high-spirited Maria arrives at Captain Georg von Trapp's villa to work as governess to his 7 children, she's a distinct anomaly in the household. The Von Trapps lead a strict, disciplined, militarily influenced way of life, but Maria shakes up the whole routine with music and a positive attitude.
Silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things.
The captain doesn't take too kindly to the changes at first, but soon softens when he hears his children singing.
And I'll sing once more.
Even though the idea of love scares Maria, and Georg initially has other romantic interests, the couple works it out and finds that what's going on between them is something good. With a love like that, not even the Nazis can stand in their way.
I must have done something.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.